This is a very significant message that you need to be aware of, and it was reported in the news today. It is quite likely that both Bitcoin, the most popular cryptocurrency, and USDT, the most popular stablecoin, will experience extremely challenging times in the not too distant future. Ripple and XRP will be able to take their position, fully absorb all of that liquidity, and experience significant growth as a result of this transformation. First things first, according to this study published by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, which is one of the major financial agencies in the world, just 6% of Tether is backed by cash, which is absolutely insane. According to the findings presented in the report, there is new evidence that implies that Tether may have put its users in a grave danger. Due to the fact that we do not have a lot of information regarding the characteristics and locations of Tether's users, it is difficult to do any relevant study or identify any systemic effects. Despite the fact that Tether is pegged to the dollar in a 1-1 ratio, it is possible that the United States government will not be able to exert much influence over the firm that developed it. This is the reason why the government of the United States of America, as well as the majority of the rest of the globe, is attempting to discredit Tether USDT by claiming that it is nothing more than a black swan event waiting to happen and that it is managed by thieves as well as those who use them. More evidence is shown here in the form of the negative accounts that Smoke of Tether maintained between June and September of 2017. Despite the fact that Tether claimed to have complete support for USD, all it did was open an account and receive $328 million from Us.Thankx. They claimed to have $1.831 billion in funds in November 2018. However, the following day, they transferred $475 million to Us.Thankx, which demonstrates that they did not have sufficient funds support in real life. Because of this lack of transparency, the future and reputation of the most popular stablecoin at the moment are both quite concerning. The most current assessment, which was published at the end of March 2022, was lacking some critical facts, but nevertheless made it very evident that Tether's asset risk exposures are still substantial. This is stated right here in the paper that was published by the International Monetary Fund. The fact that only 6% of Tether is backed by cash demonstrates that there are liquidity issues when considering the fact that Tether can be redeemed immediately at its face value. Because of this kind of situation that is just waiting to happen, Bitcoin is likewise in a precarious position. 24H Crypto has stated unequivocally that XRP will radically transform Bitcoin, and we can see evidence of this right now since Smoke has provided it. This is due to the fact that USDT is a time bomb that is about to explode and Tether is boosting Bitcoin. This image illustrates the flow of USDT in Bitcoin through the system, transporting people to and from Bitfinance between the dates of March 1st, 2017 and March 31st, 2018. At the bottom of the pie chart, pay particular attention to the panel that represents the Bitcoin blockchain. The wallet ID 1LSG stands out as the one that has sent the most Bitcoin to Bitfinance from other platforms, as it is prominently displayed in this information. If you want to use Tether, in excess of 50% of them are present. This is a really large sign that is red. There are just a few wallets that are extremely significant to the flow of assets, and Tether is a significant factor in the manipulation of the price of Bitcoin. Due to the fact that intermediary wallets are connected to exchanges, it is clear that Tether is experiencing disruption on numerous platforms. This indicates that there is a greater likelihood that more Bitcoin will be purchased. Bitcoin will become more popular, its price will increase, and the market price will shift as a result of large sums of Tether being used to purchase Bitcoin. The introduction of Tether is a black swan event that must go place. It will never be a better situation than the crash of the FTX. Additionally, due to the fact that Tether is so closely linked to Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency market as a whole will experience a severe meltdown. You ought to fully educate yourself as much as you can about this market and the assets that are associated with it so that you can know when the greatest times to buy are and potentially even guess when they are. With regard to cryptocurrency, the next 18 months will be the most crucial period of your whole life. So long as you know where to go, you may make a significant amount of money in this sector right now. The community Discord server that I just created is open to anyone who wants to join it at no cost. We are all working together in this community to gain a better understanding of how to locate the actual money makers in crypto diamonds so that we can be a part of the largest wealth transfer in the history of the world. Please do not hesitate to become a member of the family. Within the text that follows, you will find the link to do so. On the other hand, I am quite confident that XRP will eventually surpass Bitcoin. Furthermore, this is not solely due to the impending Tether issue that is going to take place. Additionally, Bitcoin has not lived up to the initial vision that Satoshi Nakamoto had for it, which is a significant issue. During this interview with W, it was demonstrated that Scott Stornetta is very close to being at the top of the list. Within the initial Satoshi white paper, he is one of the few individuals listed, and he was instrumental in the development of Bitcoin. Even if what Satoshi created is fantastic, the majority of people no longer use it as a peer-to-peer system. Because it is still extremely hazardous and cannot be used without being tracked like cash, this is not what he wanted when he was looking for something. To tell you the truth, Satoshi accomplished a lot of fantastic work, but it is very evident that it is not even close to what was first envisaged. In point of fact, I believe that the reason I am taking so much time to respond to your inquiry is because I believe that we ought to begin with an accurate depiction of what Bitcoin is at the present moment. After that, we can consider the question of whether there will be an increase in control or whether it is simply a matter of time before a store transforms into a store of value, which it now is. To be honest, It is not yet. This is the lightning link. There are examples and other things that are comparable, but it is not actually a primary method of exchanging money. Have I any reason to believe that the things that are built on top of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will eventually become more similar to a method of payment for items and over the course of time, a method of keeping track of money? In the short to long run, I have optimism regarding the unit of account that is used for the medium of exchange. That particular one, in my opinion, will be the very last one to be realized. As a result, Bitcoin will not be utilized as a means of payment for any goods or services. The situation is made even more dire by the fact that Scott Stornetta, in another segment of Same Talk, asserts that the centralization of Bitcoin will only accelerate, further diverging it from the original concept that Nakamoto had in mind. The work that Satoshi did, which was an improvement on what Stewart and I had already accomplished, was excellent. There is nothing I would like to say that is unfavorable about Satoshi nonetheless, even if we compare him to himself then. In this particular instance, the objectives are those that are provided in the title of the study. Initially, we do not possess any cash on hand.
Right.
Tracking Bitcoin is a relatively simple process. All right, peer-to-peer platforms are not stable in any way. In spite of the fact that the title contains the word peer-to-peer, it is logical to assume that assets are being pulled together, regardless of whether they are located in the private sector or somewhere else. It is something that the majority of people have already experienced. It is not the case that individuals are putting out a shingle with their own node and dealing with other nodes in a direct manner. I believe that the vast majority of consumers have already made a step towards centralization, and I believe that this trend will only accelerate in the future. Because it will be so difficult to get Bitcoin, the price of the cryptocurrency will skyrocket and no one would want to use it. This will be a source of value, but it will not be a means of purchasing things. However, I believe that XRP will. RLUSD is the stable coin of Ripple. Stable coins such as Circle USDC are rapidly gaining popularity as a result of the concerns associated with Tether. On the other hand, once the RLUSD is released within the next 2 months, it will rapidly become the most popular stablecoin in this market, particularly among institutions. This is due to the fact that Ripple President Monica Long has referred to the RLUSD as the gold standard when it comes to regulations and transparency of supporting reserved assets. This is something that USDT Tether is unable to achieve and will not do. Allow me to introduce you to the stablecoin. We have licenses to send money in more than 40 states in the United States of America. In addition, we made plans to acquire Standard Custody, a trust corporation that is registered with the New York Department of Financial Services. There are a lot of people all over the world, not just in the United States, who believe that the New York Department of Family Services is a highly powerful authority. While we are in the process of closing the Standard Custody transaction, we are already working towards satisfying the standards set by the DFSS in the trust business.